years have passed since the William C. Loud family shared their private lives with millions of viewers as an American family. We were the filmmakers who came into their home for 7 months to document the unfolding drama of their day-to-day life. The 300 hours of film we recorded became a 12-hour TV series that shocked and fascinated America. In many ways, the Louds were an ordinary family, with 5 teenagers, 4 cars, 3 dogs, 2 cats, and 1 horse. Bill Loud traveled frequently as a salesman for his own mining supplies company.
I represent American Steel Foundry out of Chicago. And if you ever get tired of your Esco teeth, well, let me know.
While Pat was busy at home with 5 teenagers.
Nobody is to take a car off of this hill. I don't want to take the keys out of those cars. That's a crashing bore. That's what I say. Everyone, let us know. I want everybody to stay out of my liquor cabinet. Is that clear?
It's a little late for that, isn't it?
I hope not.
I do too.
The Loud children actively pursued their own interests. The girls with dance recitals, and the boys with garage bands. However, there were a few problems along the way.
I know there's a strike. I know there's a strike. Don't tell me that again. I'm confused.
What do I do with my key?
And then there was Lance, the oldest son, who had recently moved to New York in search of big city life.
Hi! This is my mother, Mrs. Hall. Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you. You're just going in.
Oh, well, we're gonna be back in a second.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
This is Douglas.
When Pat came for a visit, Lance showed her all the sights, both uptown and downtown. Although Pat was aware of Lance's homosexuality, she was deeply troubled by his immersion into a gay underground lifestyle. As our filming continued, we became more and more aware of Bill and Pat's marital tensions.
I'll tell you something. I think when people want to do something, they ought to do it. Kid doesn't want to pour the cement, forget it. You don't have to pour the cement. I don't have to support him. He better start supporting himself. She wants to dance. She better get out there and earn a couple bucks, do her own dancing. No dough going into that routine. Michelle doesn't want to go play with the girls. I'm not going to worry about it. She can sit in her room for the rest of her whole living days, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not going to worry about it. Life's too short to worry about all that jazz.
I know, I hate to see them go like that. I just hate it. I hate it.
I love it. The sooner they get out of there, the better. Lay there and get a little rest, and Jesus, I hear 3 kids walking through that gate, and I just about go through the air. No, they're not going to do anything for me but relieve me. But we all must make little compromises.
Sometimes little, sometimes big.
Right on.
Pat later confided in her brother and wife about Bill's extramarital affairs.
Life doesn't go on the way you have it planned. The things happen and change your life. The things that you don't want to happen can come in and be a very strong part of your life. People and things that you don't even know exist, Yvonne. I'm getting more and more calls from those women. They drain him. And it's a sad, horrible thing to watch. He has to give them, and they don't mean anything to him.
No, absolutely.
He has to give them all of his vitality, all of everything. We were only a part of his life, a very good part, the best part. only a small part.
The following week, we filmed the end of their 21-year marriage as Pat asked Bill for a divorce. The ratings were high and the critics were harsh. Everyone became intimately involved in this family's life.
Are the Louds, as we see them in this film, as empty as all that?
What happened there was that people dissected this family in order to call into question not only an American family, but the American family.
It's not a deviant family. It's not typical. There is no average family. But there might be a certain archetypical value or representative value in this.
I'm fascinated by the fact that nobody will talk for 5 minutes about the form. And it is a new form, and I think we should really think about it as a form. The people who lay their unlived lives on the line. This is a very special...
1973 brought us the Watergate hearings, Martha Mitchell, Last Tango in Paris, Linda Lovelace, and the Louds, who became celebrities for just being themselves. 10 years later, we asked the Louds to look back on this remarkable experience.
What was it like? Well, I can't begin to tell you how embarrassing it was. I mean, that's, nobody would ever believe that we were basically pretty private people, you know, to have wound up like that all over the screen. But the one thing, I suppose it's impossible to explain yourself.
I don't think it affected anybody. I don't think it hurt anybody. I just think it was a great, big, fun experience.
We didn't do anything besides be ourselves on TV, you know? Somebody just said, Craig Gilbert said, I'm going to film you.
We were always very incognito in those days, before we assumed the burden of the role of an American family.
When I talk about it, when I remember it, I can get so emotional about it. I mean, anybody in the family will start tearing up, crying, getting red in the face, just furious, getting sad. That just brings back a variety of emotions that none of us have been able to really articulate or dispel, because it was, as a phenomena, it is unequaled, I think, in anybody's life.
We enjoyed a lot of it because, I mean, publicity and being, you know, recognized on the street by people you don't know, and the people that recognized us and that really liked us, it was really interesting because the people themselves, the fan letters that we got, they were all very positive and people really liked us, and I had a couple of pen pals, but then when you would go, then like the press that we got was really horrible. I mean, it's just too personal.
It was a constant reflection on us as a family, and maybe it put us into, you know, a certain mold that we either all held hands and jumped in the deep end and swam or sank. And I think we came up swimming pretty fast.
And all these people crawled in, and they took our lives. It was like they tossed them like a deck of cards up in the air, and all these 52 pieces fell all over, and those were our lives.
Any jerk with a pencil or a typewriter that had the audacity to write about us sat in judgment of these people that he had never met. Nobody was writing anything about whether or not the series had any value, any validity. They were all writing about, well, I don't like these people, or I like this person, or this person is stupid.
It was funny to find our lives becoming so slotted and filed by the media. Like, suddenly here I was, this, like, character out of, you know, a comic book strip. Little did we know that those characterizations would always be there. People would always immediately think of me as the person that dyed his hair and wore blue and came out on TV, which was that I didn't come out on TV. I came out only in the ad. I was definitely out for a long time before that.
Their ad campaign was totally inexcusable. Would you live next to these people? Just the most inflammatory things, like we're all leprous, syphilitics, lecherous, ignoble, the worst of humanity. I felt very betrayed, and my kids didn't deserve what I led them into.
once we found out the way that the whole show was being criticized, we started getting really mad. We started getting together, and we got out. We went out on the road. We went and went on Mike Douglas, went on Dick Cavett, Dad and Lance, went on Phil Donahue. We would just, any place that we could get a forum, we were going on to talk about, I'm mad at this guy, I'm mad at this guy, they did this to us, these people have misquoted us here and here and here. And from then on, it really became the battle of the louds.
The Dick Cavett Show. Tonight, Dick's guests are the William C. Loud family from the WNET documentary series An American Family.
Did it do any damage to any of you, really? Do you think anybody's been seriously hurt by it?
I have suffered horrid psychic damage, and I think maybe there are some others of us who have. Yeah. We've lost dignity, and we've been humiliated as a result of it. Our honor is at question. All kinds of things. That's why I'm here tonight. I just am not the type to ever get on this sort of thing. But I feel very defensive, as Craig brought out, and I really think we've got to get out and show people that we are not monsters, that we are really kind of nice human beings.
Would you like to fade away now, after you've had your chance here to say things in this kind of setting? Or do you want the fame to continue? A lot of people think you did it because you just like the limelight.
I know we've been accused of that. And it was fun. We did it. Now it's over, and the results are coming in, but I think the jury is still out on a lot of that.
I want the fame to continue, but not in the way that I've been shown in the film.
I think life will go on just like it's gone, and we'll go back into the late movies, and that's it.
It's incredible the devotion some people really had to us, and just for being us. It was great, you know. We obviously hadn't been to any charm school, and to know that we could still sell, we still had a market.
Lines from A to Z, where we never got anything we didn't deserve. No one could do that to me, and we ended up in places like this one, but there's still a lot of places to see. Once upon a time across the ocean, I never thought life could be so right. Living on the shore next to those big guns. We ended up staying out all night. Well, we ended up at dawn with our baggage in our hands. The future didn't seem so bright, but I'd like to add or go on to this one. We sure gave one hell of a fight.
She's interested in a career in modeling, dancing, or some aspect of the theater. She likes horseback riding. She digs playing volleyball and soccer. From Santa Barbara, California, please welcome the eldest daughter of the famed Loud family of the TV series An American Family, Delilah Loud.
Number one, using one word for each letter in the word lib, give me 3 words that describe what you think a liberated woman is.
Lust. But you and Mike will be going far from home to help celebrate a fun-filled fiesta. That's the 24th annual Fiesta of 5 Flags in Pensacola, Florida. That's right. And a gala celebration it is, denoting the 5 different flags that have flown over the Pensacola area. And the Fiesta of the 5 Flags triggers a whole host of exciting events, including 4 major parades.
We're celebrating Easter week on the dating game. And today we're saluting An American Family with the music of Loud featuring Kevin and Grant Loud.
Come away, keep you warm and we'll reside. Unhook the phone and we could safely hide. If you could just come away. Come away, we'll throw our fears and worries to the wind. I'd make you happy, can it be a sin for you to just come away? I build a blazing fire.
what had happened to us, nobody ever really asked me, you know. I had a chance to give my side of what was really a controversial thing and get paid a whopping thumping amount of money for it at the same time. What is that saying? Living well is the best revenge, and that's why.
How would you describe your lifestyle or the kinds of things you do now as opposed to when we last saw you, when you were the head of a household with 4 cars, a swimming pool, and California living?
In 1973, Michelle and I moved to New York. And I liked it so well that I have been here ever since. I suppose, in a way, I have become somewhat of a New Yorker,
After that, we went to the
which I love.
And so you have to eat very carefully.
I have a much more active social life here than I ever had in Santa Barbara. I go to the theater, go to dinner, go to private homes, private parties.
So entertaining, it really was nice. Hi,
A lot of my friends are people I got to know through my business, and carries over into social life. I am now living alone. I feel very safe and very comfortable here. I have more or less joined the working force as a literary agent, and I have been doing that for the last 6 years.
For all those who I'm sure are interested, which is, why haven't you remarried?
Oh, what a dirty question. I have been close a couple of times, so I don't want anybody to think I didn't get my chance at it. I don't know, I really can't answer that. You know, it's very hard to know what's really lurking down inside of you, whether you're afraid of marriage or after what my experience has been, which would be really chicken if I said that. And I'm not sure that's how I feel. I just think I haven't met the right person, because I just haven't done it. And I have had, as I hasten to say, I have had a couple of chances at it, but it was sort of thanks a lot, but no thanks.
Do you think it's unusual that of the 5 children, none of them have married?
Have been pressing my children to do that because I'm great-grandmother material. I'm ready to roll with that role. I love it. I can hardly wait to be a grandmother. And they sort of pat me on the head and tell me that they are going to marry, but they're not ready yet. Perhaps their careers have been, I suppose you could say that the series was a little bit like an earthquake within the family, and it did cause an upheaval. It takes a little while for that to kind of settle down.
Notice how very sharp those teeth are. I mean, just like a razor. That must be really abrasive material, huh? It's time somebody settled down after they're 62, you know.
You fold it in there, and then you mix it up. Don't mix it too much. Just fold.
That's one of the big mistakes in the souffle grant.
I'll never make that mistake.
Okay. This is the...
This is buttered and sugared.
Right. And we prepare this.
Right.
God, that is delicious, man. That is really delicious. Okay.
Okay.
Now, we've already prepared another souffle grant, so we're showing them.
Let's just show them.
We are at the world headquarters of American Western Foundries.
True, true.
And is this is the same business you've had?
Same business I've had for 20 years, 23 years now.
Mm-hmm. And how is business?
Business is getting better every year. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, but it's much better than it was when the series ended in 1971.
You have remained here the whole 10 years.
Yeah. I've remained here, Susan. Yes, I've remained.
Has your life changed in any way?
When Patty divorced me, I vowed that I would try to see as much life as I could. Oh, I think it was a very selfish time on my part. And I think that if I had to do it, we'd been having a lot of differences for 3 or 4 years before the series started, before we finally split up. In fact, we split up 4 times before the final split up. So that wasn't anything new. But I think as far as the responsibility towards the family, I should have stayed a couple more years because it was a very critical time in her life. But on the other side, you have to realize how the times were. It was just a very disturbing way of living with 50 kids running through the house and the band playing in the back and the horse running around the backyard and the dog barking through the house and the pool dirty. And geez, it was a tough time. So after a great life as a single guy for 5 years, I met this great girl, Carol Lee, from Norfolk, Virginia, and we were married a year later and settled right down to a good, sedate life.
Did you find that surprising or natural that you would remarry?
Well, I don't know. Was it natural? It's what I wanted to do. I don't stop to consider it. I just I had a choice of being married, or I had a choice of staying single, and I find being married is a much more pleasant way of living. Yeah, I'm very happy around the home. I would say my closest friends and my closest companions are my family still.
And now we have Miss Delilah Loud, and she's going to do a number that is called Drums.
When I think of how my life has changed in the last 10 years, it's a revelation. It is a real revelation of how you grow up. I've come a long way. I've since moved to Los Angeles. I'm working for an advertising and public relations agency. I started out working there in, funnily enough, television and radio broadcast production.
The next thing is our ongoing bonanza of media coverage for Vegemite.
Part of us live closer to Dad, and part of us live closer to Mom, not for preference, but just for, you know, career situations, that sort of thing. I consider us extraordinarily close for the ages that we are. Usually, it seems to me families sort of, after kids, you know, go through college and split off and pursue their careers, they kind of fragment and split and check in once in a while. But I think we're a lot closer than that. I spend most of my weekends in Santa Barbara. I don't see Dad, you know, every day, but we usually see him on the weekends. Our lifestyles are pretty, you know, simple and normal from what I can see, you know.
Is there a current man in your life these days?
Yes. He's Welsh by nationality. He's my friend, my buddy, my partner in crime. He is employed by my father. He got that job purely on his own talents. I have nothing to do with it.
Is this the American dream?
This is it, kid. Look, we got the mountains up there, we got the ocean, we got the oil rigs. This is it.
What's it like to be with the Louds? You spend a lot of time with them?
Bill Loud's my boss, and I go out with his daughter.
Is that
That's
a
the story.
difficult situation, or is that
No.
very easy?
It's very easy. The fact that I go out with his daughter has nothing to do with the fact that I work for him.
Do you think that perhaps the Loud family is going to have a wedding in the future?
I'm not in any state of mind or ready frame of mind to get married. I hope to someday. I want a family, you know. I think it's one of the neatest things in life, but I think I'll know when I'm ready for it, and I'm not right now.
It's not that I didn't like rock and roll anymore, it's just that I couldn't quite handle the hairstyle.
Take my arms, 'cause I want to lose them. Take my lips, I never use them. And your goodbye.
But now I'm performing in a lot of original material, a lot of standards from the 20s and 30s. Then I started acting a lot. So now I'm doing them both fairly equally.
Baby, you know you got the part. Used to be. So why not take all of me?
I live in Los Angeles and work there and go out for interviews and that sort of thing. Then come up to here, Santa Barbara, and pretend like I am the weekend millionaire.
I wanna be a millionaire.
Thanks, babe.
I wanna be a millionaire. I wanna be the why and wherefore. I wanna be the one that all the girls could care for. I wanna be a millionaire. I want to be that front row chair.
The way the series came out and the aftermath of it has obviously changed the way that we've lived. I know that it's, as in my life, it's, I've always considered the fact that I'm growing more and more successful in show business in spite of An American Family and not because of it. I think that it's changed the way that we, I think we are all a little more guarded about what we're willing to give away as far as parts of ourselves. We're not quite so trusting. It was like having a toy. That's my film crew, don't worry about it. You know, it was like something that just followed you around. There were times at which it was obviously very oppressive.
All you do is sit around and strum that guitar.
That's not true.
And you, well, okay, you eat a lot and you sleep a lot and you watch a lot of television.
If you don't want to work, then you shouldn't want all the things that work. Leisure is no fun unless you offset it with a little work.
I just want you to do something. Just move
As
the
long
body.
as it's not plunking on the guitar, right?
You can do that.
Well, then how come you've been telling me not to plunk on the guitar for the last 3 days?
In moderation. Do something besides sit in that room day in, day out.
I mean, it's your life. I mean, I can't control you. I think you're making a big mistake trying to run away from responsibilities. Don't you
I'm not
think?
trying to run away from responsibilities.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to find something that I like to do that I can do well.
Well, have you found it?
Yeah?
What?
Well, I'm not even going to go into it with you because you'll just give me all this jazz about, well, you got to get to college and take some economics and a banking course and you'll be set for the rest of your life.
Well, don't you think you would be?
No, I don't think so.
My job is to see that you get to see how life is going to be. I'd like to see them accomplish a little more. I'm very disappointed that they didn't all finish college. And I think that they have, that was a disappointment to me. And, but I guess we all have disappointments in life.
We still have the same relationship. It's just that now I don't really have any compunctions about telling him to get off. You know, I'm no longer living with him, and he no longer has what he feels of any strictly paternal responsibility towards me. So if he gets me sore, I let him know about it. And I think he's beginning to, if he doesn't like what I do, at least he's beginning to respect the fact that I'm going to do it, whether he likes it or not.
You guys traveled with me. Geez, you've been traveling.
10 years ago, when you were sitting there and I was sitting here, and we were filming An American Family, you say you'd be in Texas working for an oil company, I would think you'd be insane.
Is this where you work?
Yes, this is TW Oil on North Belt in Houston, Texas.
You know, they wouldn't let us in.
They're oil traders, and most of them that I've dealt with tend to try to have a low profile. Seems to be kind of industry standard.
Does that also fit in with your current lifestyle, Kevin Loud? Are you a low-profile man
Very
these
much
days?
so, very much. I haven't been on any TV series for quite a while.
Have you joined the working force?
For a while. I thought I'd be joining 9 to 5, but it seems like it's 9 to 9. I work for a trading company and spend most of my time just financing the purchases of crude oil and monitor credit exposures.
You live in what some people would call a singles apartment housing complex.
Only way to live. Well, I'd like to settle down and have a family, but God knows I just haven't found the right girl yet. And I'm just looking for her as just like any other guy is. And
maybe marrying into the Louds of TV fame is something that maybe intimidates some of the women you know?
Actually, it does. I went out with one girl in graduate school, and she was pretty upset to hear about this, and she had a real nice family, and her family thought that the Louds were a little bit too provocative for her daughter. So it did, and this is serious.
To having Lance as an in-law?
Yeah, it was Big Bill they weren't too crazy about. Why? They thought he was just a little too freewheeling, I think.
Do you admire your father?
Oh, I admire him quite a bit. I think he's been a concerned father and a very caring father. I worked in Dad's company when I was young and went on that business trip when they filmed American Family.
We want you to see all the mines you can get into.
Really?
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's why you're going.
People that we can come down.
And when that great big Marion 5,600 shovel throws that bucket out there and sucks that dirt back up there, and it's cold, you know, and you see more metal roll off of that thing. I mean, you're on Broadway, you know, you really are right at the top of the heap. Just give you a great thrill.
Is there any reason why the two of you aren't in business together?
I'm the first to admit that I gave Kevin quite a few carrots, like a car and an expense account and a lot of things. And everybody said, you know, you're going to ruin the kid by giving him all these advantages. But Kevin, at the same time, was cooperating. He was on the rowing crew at UCLA, and he went and he got honors and grades, and he was voted the most outstanding student in the fraternities. He took quite a few honors at UCLA, and then he went on to Williams and Mary. So I was very proud of what Kevin did. And then everyone, then to answer your question, why isn't he in the business? It's always been Daddy Bill who's been right there to bail him out or to get him on to another course. So I think that Kevin should get out and see what the real world is about, and he is seeing what the real world is about.
I think that he sees in me a son that he doesn't want to mold in his own image. He sees in me a son that he wants to say, do as I say and not as I do. And that has led to some contentions that we've had. I guess it's just a father. You still look at your son as how he was when he was 8 years old, you know, and it's hard for them to see you grow up and go your own way.
I hate to say it, but although I am 31, I still feel like the same idiot that I was back then.
Miss Loud of 1983 doing?
Here I am, living with my sister in a tenement in New York City. I've been in New York, living in New York all 10 years. I had a rock band for 9 of those years. I was a rock writer. I would not say journalist. And I was a lead singer in a band called the Mumps, and we went through all the rock and roll rigor of the mid-70s at CBGB's and in various rock and roll battlefields around America. Something that I really expended a lot of energy and hope and trust and belief, and it was really bad after the band just finally sputtered and died. After putting all that time into it, it was very discouraging. I don't believe in the dreams that I had then, that's true. Things do change, unfortunately. I've developed in the last 10 years from being the family problem to the family mystery. I think that since I didn't become like a lawyer or a preacher or a plastic surgeon or anything incredible, because I haven't been able to come up with a real, honest solution to this is life, this is how you do it, this is the secret behind it. I still feel the same questions that bothered me then still bother me, I think. But I just don't wear blue lipstick. I was always hounded with this feeling like people would always expect something of me after that, like me to be some hideous thing or some crazy, brilliant guy, you know, and their expectations would always make me feel very, very self-conscious.
I said earlier that they never used the word homosexual in the publicity of the show, or I don't think it even came up during it. And yet you've given a couple of interviews in which you were quite frank about it. Well, is that hard to do in the year 1973?
No, I was actually surprised that they brought out the idea that sexuality, that homosexuality is something more than just liking to give kisses to boys on the sly, you know? I feel that the way they edited it, they made me seem obnoxious, and I really do get harder and harder to swallow during the entire series. But, I mean, not that I'm so outrageous, just that I'm so dedicated. When the series was happening, I really didn't do those things to be like a woman or to be femme. I really thought that I was doing things that were terribly avant-garde and very different, and they were lined up in a way that there I was, a big fag. I had to take these off. I didn't want you to get the wrong idea.
No, I don't have the wrong idea, sweetie.
Wait a second. This is really... Kevin, take another picture of me. Wait a second. Ready? I have to get out the picture. Ready?
Listen, how many films are in there?
Take it of us together. No, guys, I want to take it of us together.
Okay.
And you better take it good.
Wonderful shaving lotion you have on. That really is. That's really got the essence of it.
It's cinnamon and gardenia, and there's one called Mystic Veil. Okay, ready?
Are we in focus, Kevin?
Sure.
Focus?
1, 2.
Do you feel now, in 1983, you're more accepting of his lifestyle than you were then?
No, I detest his way of life. No, I have no sympathy for his way of life. I have no sympathy. I think it's very unhappy. I don't see any of them ever. I can't say that. Maybe the guys are happier than there are people that are married. So who am I to say? But no, I can't. But he's my son, and you have to do the best you can.
Dad has. This time it's going to be interesting to see how he gives an interview, because I bet this time he's going to do it right. He's going to do it serious, and he's going to give you, Alan, exactly what he wants to give you. He's not going to be caught off guard anymore. But that's, you know, that's part of his personality. That's part of the thing that makes him a great guy. You know, I think I was talking to him recently, And he does definitely get the feeling that he is the only member of the family that has done anything in these last 10 years. And he likes us, and we do have an affiliation with him still, but he is definitely a that's life type of guy. Straight from the heart of Frank Sinatra. Baby, hit him with the pink spot, you know?
What about right there?
Hey, get in my hair!
I feel so much better getting older. I feel being 25, I think I've succeeded in doing all the things that I wanted to do up until the point I was 25. I've succeeded everything, and now I don't know what else to do. So I have to think of a whole new batch of ideas. I'm learning them. I went to Fashion Institute, where I got a degree in designing. And then I moved back to New York, and I'm presently working in the garment center. I mean, if you're gonna work in fashion, you might as well go to the center of it. I mean, I really wanted to know what it was like. So now I know.
Yeah. Which one? Waterloo?
Haven't you and Lance always been very close?
And? Can I keep going?
Yeah, no, I have one complaint.
No, I'm trying.
Yes, oh, wait, just a minute. I have one complaint. Lance never cleans up my room.
He is my older brother, but there are times when I question his sensibility.
You guys look.
And you're supposed to listen to your older brother, and that is absolute, but I don't. So.
He's not an older brother in the classic sense.
In the classic sense, he's not.
Do you think that it's unusual that you live next to each other in those side-by-side apartments?
He's so loud. He's really loud. I don't know how to manage. I don't know. I mean, I like having people around, but I like to be alone, too.
What do you think about Lance leaving?
Let's see.
Well, she's thrilled because I'm giving her my TV, is basically it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's really sad. It's very sad in a way because it's great to have family around, especially him, because he's always been
Older.
Older? No, you've always been younger than me, but yet older.
Yet older.
And let's see, but it promotes change. It opens up a whole new cycle, and that the whole family will change now, and that I will change and he will change. And
This is the first time basically in her life that she's really been left alone, and she's never been in a better mood than I saw her yesterday. She's so happy.
I quit my
she's
job.
totally free. She doesn't have any family wondering when she's gonna come home
hair.
and make dinner. Yeah, you did cut your hair.
I cut my hair. I felt completely liberated for some reason.
Do you think it's interesting that the kids, as they're called, who are 25 to 31, none of you are married?
I think that we've learned the value of marriage, and by seeing our parents' own divorce, I think that it has given us a feeling that this means so much. Being married means so much, and that if you marry somebody, it is for life, and that it isn't something that you can just throw away anytime you feel that it's not working. And we value it so much that it's not something we can just do right off the handle, you know. It's so many people I know get married so young and then they get divorced, and I don't want that to happen. And I think that's why we haven't gotten married. I think it's because of our, our experience with our parents. And I think it was very valuable, and
I don't blame them for what they did. I think that they had to do it, and I don't feel that I was cheated in any way, but
No, it seems like, you know, Mom
it was
and
a
Dad.
natural course, really.
You know, my close friends, no, I don't even like to talk about this, and they don't talk to me about it. Once in a while, somebody will say to me, why did you do that? Like, holy God, you know, you did this embarrassing thing in public, you dropped your pants in public, or something really horrible that you did, which I did. I, to this day, can only say I am embarrassed by, for instance, telling Bill to leave. I should have been stronger. I should not have done that. I have spoken to a lawyer, and this is his card. He would like to have you get in touch with him,
Okay.
and I'd like to have you move out. It's just like that.
Well, that's a fair deal.
I figured you'd think that.
You know, I think it's short-sighted on your part, really. But, well, good deal.
And I'd like to have you get in touch with him tomorrow morning. He'll be in his office tomorrow morning.
Well, I'm glad you didn't pick the most expensive one, then. Really?
Yeah, I tried to be a little medium-priced in this thing.
Okay, well, let's see. Got everybody shaped up here, have you?
Uh-huh.
And, Grant's in good shape?
Everybody is in very good shape. They all understand the problem, and they all understand it is only between you and me.
Well, then, I don't have to unpack my bag, do I?
No, I thought you might want to get some clean clothes or something.
No, I got plenty of bag. I'll pick up my clothes tomorrow sometime.
Big divorce scene, we'd had some practice at it. And the time that it had happened the year before, I vowed that if we had to go through this horrendous scene one more time, I was going to take it seriously and I wouldn't come back. So when I came back to town the evening of the divorce scene, Grant picked me up at the airport and drove up to the house and saw the Filmmakers lights on, which was a usual thing because you left them on quite often. Walked into the house and thought, you know, that everything was as it had been.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Patty gave me her lawyer's card and said, I want a divorce. It was a difficult thing to go through. And I don't like emotional conflicts in any way. I will fly from any kind of a lawsuit or any kind of an emotion. And it was such an intense time that I really didn't give anybody any other thought than Patty. Actually, 5–10% I knew the cameras were on, but 90% was a fairly honest reaction.
And so you wouldn't say that the presence of the cameras was a catalyst or in any way provoked the...
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, but who's to say whether, you know, what would have happened if you hadn't been there?
We should have parted years before we actually did. We were just no longer suited to one another. There was no way we could live together. Whether the camera was there or not, it would have happened. The series taking place at that time, definitely, please God, this is the last time I have to answer this, had nothing to do with our parting at that time.
The big question, why didn't you tell Bill when you were driving him home from the airport that Pat had the lawyer's card ready and was going to give him his walking papers?
I was a very It was a very weird, weird night. I knew that they were going to have a divorce, but she told me to tell him not to come home.
Big G, how are you?
And he didn't know anything at all about it. And you guys were in the back seat. I just couldn't do it. I could not do it. I just remember how sad I was.
Do you find scenes like that painful to watch, or would you rather not look at them again?
They're painful to watch. I don't mind looking at them again. They're a constant reminder of how helpless, we are in certain situations, how helpless we are to take control of fate that's whirling around you, and something is happening and you're supposed to take care of it, but there's nothing you can do about it.
I was waiting for Dad to come home from that business trip, and we'd had a family meeting, and Mom was definitely giving him the green light to get out.
No, big dude, how are you?
Hi, Dad. Dad. So when he came through the door in his sort of wonderful, happy-go-lucky, frame of mind, I had no idea it was going to be done right then. I thought there was going to be sort of an easing into that situation. And Mom was breathing fire.
And I don't, what else? Anything else?
Well, did Grant say anything to you?
No, about what?
I realized I should get out of there as quickly as possible.
No, I know.
You know there's a problem.
What's your problem?
When the series came on the air and I saw that scene actually cut together, that was probably one of the most painful scenes for me to ever see, because I had no idea of the depth of loneliness my mother went through. And I remember the scene of her going into Michelle's bedroom, and Mom just sat there in Michelle's window and smoked a cigarette and looked out the window. And I just thought, I felt so guilty for not being there and not being more supportive and have more insight into the pain that she went through.
You were in the house the night that your father came home.
I had forgotten really how bad it was when, he came in and she said, well, haven't the kids told you? And he said, no, what? And she said, well, I want a divorce. They looked so hurt, I was witness to that. And I don't think that many kids are. I mean, when their parents get a divorce, they don't sit there and watch the mother say, get out of the house. And so I get to see that anytime. And it's sad because you don't want your, parents to split up. So, I mean, that's kind of sad.
I see myself now 10 years later as a kind of a roving, irresponsible, what do you say? Irresponsible rogue that I don't especially admire on film. And you say, God, how could you act like that? How could you do that? I don't dwell on that thought very long, but that does come as an honest question. And I think, well, you're living a life, you're living your own life, and that's what you wanted to do, that's what you did. So I don't have any remorse for having done the series or for what happened in the series. It just happened. It was just life. To answer your question, no, I didn't learn anything from it, I don't think.
Is there life after divorce for middle-aged ladies? Yes. I've had a great time. I've had a wonderful time. And part of it, I have to admit, although it does hurt to think that I didn't create it all for myself, part of it has been because of the series. I have had cachet and been known people I would never know had it not been for this series. For the first time, this is the first, because everybody says, you know, do you regret? I say, oh, of course, I'd never do it again. But now I can say, yes, I'm glad I did it.
We were just celebrities for living our lives, and it was great. Even though we felt there was misinterpretation about it, we were really delighted, totally delighted. I thought the whole thing was really all exciting, and I was very proud of us. It was like a foreign film to me. It was great and strange, and you look back on it and you thought, that was life? That was really life? Or was what I remember of it life?
Since this film was made, Bill Loud divorced his second wife and retired from the strip mining supply business. He left Santa Barbara and moved to Houston to live with his son, Kevin. Kevin owns and operates a telecommunications business in Houston. Grant gave up his singing career and now appears in television commercials. He lives in Los Angeles. Delilah is Director of Communications for King World Television. She also lives in Los Angeles. Michelle is the designer of children's clothing. In 1987, she married New York artist Gordon Voisier. They live in New York. Lance is alive and well and living in Los Angeles. He is a contributing editor to American Film magazine. Pat Loud never remarried. After living in England for several years, she returned to the United States and lives with her son Lance in Los Angeles. She runs a catering service and is writing a cookbook. We are still married and continue to work as filmmakers. In 1988, we had our first child, a son we named James.